Good morning, everybody. We're live here from the birdhouse, and we are halfway through October already, and it feels like fall is definitely in the air. It has gotten cooler out, and there are some different birds coming through people's backyards. So today I'll show you some of those you can be on the lookout for. And as always, we love to know what kind of things you're seeing, so you can throw your comments or you can throw your sightings in the comments. If you have questions, you can put those in there. Or you can just say hi. We always love to know who is on, so you can always just say hi. We've been talking about fall migration, and it's still going. So depending on where you are in the country, here's some maps for the next couple of nights. You can see that the migration is predicted to be really good in Texas. It looks like over there in eastern Texas and in Louisiana and Alabama and Mississippi. So in the south tonight, it looks like there's going to be some pretty good migration. Where I am in western New York, where these birds are that I'm going to give you the update on today, are there's still some migration coming through the area. So there's still some birds that are flowing through and will continue to. So as the weather gets cooler, keep in mind that you can always attract birds to your backyard with bird baths, even when it gets cold, even when it starts to dip below freezing with a heated bird bath. So there are such things as heated bird bath. They all operate on a thermostat, so you plug them in and they don't make the water hot. They just keep it unfrozen, so the birds do have a source of water. Not every bird will come to a bird feeder in the winter, but they all need some kind of a source of water. So that's a really good way you can attract birds to your backyard, even when it gets cold out. And if you do have a bird bath that you can leave out all winter, if it's one that's metal or made of plastic, you can put a heater inside that bird bath, so you don't have to get a whole new bird bath in order to provide the birds with water this winter. As far as some migrants coming through, there are still a couple of warblers that people are seeing. For the most part, those warblers are on their way back down to Central and South America, but people are still reporting some yellow-rumped warbler and even common yellowthroat. I saw a common yellowthroat in my backyard recently. So they are still kind of popping through here and there, but they are definitely on their way out. So you might get a few last glances of some warblers. Same with killdeer. I've been hearing some killdeer migrating overhead, and they are also going south for the winter, but there's still some around, so you might still hear their call, especially as they're flying overhead. And keep an eye out on your trees for a little brown bird creeping up the tree. That's brown creeper. They have been reported. I see them in the backyard here and there. So they're not a bird that'll come to a feeder, but you might just get them in your backyard if you do have some trees around. Same as yellow-bellied sapsucker. We've brought them up a little bit here and there. They're not your typical woodpecker that's going to come to a suet feeder, but people have been getting them in the fall and even in the winter months. And so keep an eye out on your trees for something that looks in between the size of a downy woodpecker and a hairy woodpecker. It could very well be a yellow-bellied sapsucker. And at your bird feeders, you might be noticing quite a few blackbirds. Seems like the red-winged blackbirds and even the grackles are quite hungry as they make their way down south. Every once in a while, people report them here in the winter. The red-winged blackbirds more so than the grackles, but you, for the most part, will see them going south for the winter, so you won't have them in your backyards. If you are getting big flocks of blackbirds, keep in mind you can always put out safflower seed. The grackles, the red-winged blackbirds, even the European starlings really don't like the safflower seed, but it is a favorite of birds like cardinals. Cardinals absolutely love the safflower, and so do house finches, which we have here all winter long, and purple finches. And purple finches are more common in the winter months, usually at people's bird feeders. So if you put out that safflower seed, not only will it keep those big flocks of the grackles and red-winged blackbirds at bay, but it'll also get you cardinals, could very well get you also house finches who love the safflower, and purple finches if they are around. Purple finches aren't as common as the house finches are, but people absolutely do get them coming to their bird feeders. And then keep an eye out for under your bird feeders, the dark-eyed juncos. People are reporting more and more and more of those coming back. They are in the sparrow family, and sometimes they'll perch right on your bird feeder, but in general, they like to hop around on the ground and pick up the little sunflower seeds or millet that might be just flung out onto the ground by the other birds. Same as the American tree sparrow, another bird you might see hopping around underneath your feeders this time of the year as they're migrating back into the area from further up north. And fox sparrow. Every once in a while, I'll get them underneath my bird feeders and in my backyard, and now would be around that time where you might see them. A really quite large sparrow with what's considered a pot belly. So keep an eye out for fox sparrow. But another more common bird that you might be getting right now in your backyard at your feeders, underneath your feeders, are going to be the white-throated sparrow and then the white-crowned sparrow. They're migrating through, and they're not uncommon at backyard bird feeders. So keep an eye out for them right now as well. And goldfinches, they're not going to be that bright gold. They're molting their feathers, so they're going to turn this more drab olive color for the winter, but they are here all winter long. And same as birds like pine siskin, which look like a more stripy version of the goldfinch with that yellow wing. And it doesn't look like it'll be a good year for common redpoll, but there are some years we have what's called an eruption of common redpolls that will come into this area. This is further south for them for the winter. It looks like when looking at the winter finch forecast that common redpolls are going to stay up north, but when they do have an eruptive year and come down to this area for the winter, they will all come to Niger feeders. So you definitely want to keep those Niger feeders out in the wintertime, because not only will the goldfinches come to them, but so do the pine siskin. And if we have any kind of common redpolls coming into the area, they will go to the Niger feeders as well. And this is a new color combination of Niger feeder we just got in. It's really quite nice looking. It's a white tube with a really beautiful black top. It's called the Farmhouse Collection from Bird's Choice. And we also have some other feeders that match it, like the suet feeder. So if you're looking for some new and different colors of bird feeders for your backyard, we have them here for you. A couple other things to be out on the lookout for too. I mentioned those warblers that you might see bouncing around in your trees or shrubs as they make their way down south. It might also be kinglets. We have ruby crown kinglets, which people are reporting in their yards, as well as golden crown kinglets. And both of them can be hard to see that crown on the top of their head unless you get the right angle, like this photo here that was sent in by Mark of a golden crown kinglet. Just happened to be pointing its head downward, and you can really see that bright colored crown. So those are some of the birds that you can look forward to seeing in your backyard this time of the year. We will be back on Saturday with another broadcast. If you're local to Rochester, we will also be having Birds of Prey from Wild Wings here in the morning from 11 to 1 here at the store. So you can pop in and see those birds of prey. It's always fun when when Wild Wings will bring their birds to the store. But we'll also be back live on Saturday with another broadcast. So until then, have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you soon.